Trading the foreign exchange market carries high risk and may not be suitable for all investors trading on margin. Utilizing leverage can carry an even higher level of risk that can lead to a complete loss of investment funds. So before deciding to trade the foreign exchange market or using any of our software alert products, you should carefully and diligently consider your personal investment objectives, level of experience, and risk tolerance. There is a possibility that you could potentially sustain significant loss. You should not invest any capital or trade that you cannot afford to lose. It is your responsibility to be aware of and understand all risks associated with foreign exchange trading and to seek professional advice from an independent certified financial advisor if you have any doubts. Auvoria Prime does not exercise trading authority over your trades. You and you alone exercise discretionary trading authority over every trade.
The first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about what intraday mode really is, what these strategies are that are loaded into the manager. And the first thing to understand is the pairs that we are using and why those pairs. So there's two different intraday modes. There's instant entry, which is going to be just 3 pairs, or there's skip a level, which you're going to be able to scan 6 pairs, but only trade 3 at a single time. Now, if you're using instant entry, you're going to choose between one of these 3 pairs, whether it's Euro USD, Euro JPY, NZD CHF, USD CAD, CAD CHF, and AUD NZD. Now, you might ask, where did we get the data? Why did we come to the conclusion on those pairs? So the first thing we went ahead and did is we went and looked at the different average daily range of these different currency pairs. And if we look at 2020, we were able to go ahead and take a peek at this data. And we'll put this right over here so we can see. So we can see the pairs that we're choosing right here. And then we can take a look at this and we can go ahead and see why many of those were chosen. NZD CHF, it's performed very well. It's had a lower daily range as well in forward testing, which I can show you. It's done extremely well. USD CAD as well did very well in forward testing. You look at some of these other ones, such as CAD CHF, very low, typically performing there. AUD NZD as well. And then obviously Euro USD is on the higher end, and so is Euro JPY. But all signs of history and back testing and forward testing show that these pairs also do respect a lot of this strategy. Now, you know, some pairs that have been disrespecting this strategy are the same pairs that disrespect sniper, super sniper, and even swing entries, which have been a lot of these JPY pairs. Right? A lot of the JPY pairs have been very troublesome. They're the worst performing pairs for all modes in GearBox, whether it's precision or in intraday modes. The pairs in yellow, you want to stay away from. But when it comes to instant entry and intraday, again, the pairs that are performing the best for either the instant entry strategy, you would choose 3 of these, or skip a level, you could set up all 6 of them. And then again, when using these strategies, your lot size, you're going to go a little more conservative. You're going to go 0.01 per 3K to mitigate risk. Because again, you're not skipping the drawdown like precision mode. So you want to decrease your lot size when trading these pairs. Because if we looked at precision mode and we looked at some of these pairs, all right, Euro USD, if we go over here, precision mode, you're not entering until gear 3 on swing or gear 4 on sniper, which that means you're waiting 87 pips before you took a trade on swing. You're in 138 on sniper and 207 on super sniper. Whereas with the instant entry strategy, you're in immediately. You're in for all of this move. So again, you want to go with a lower lot size since you're not skipping levels of drawdown. It is a smarter decision to go 0.01 per 3,000 when using any intraday modes. And even on GearBox and precision mode, you could go as conservative as 0.01 per 3K, but it's very important that in intraday mode, you do not go higher than this on your lot size, as it could produce a higher than you would like to see drawdown. And none of us want to see that. But for the ease of setting everything up, the other things is when you are using smaller balances below 1K, please do not use instant entry. Instant entry is not really ideal for balances below $1,000. Skip a level is going to be more ideal for a smaller balance. Now, if you're using less than $1,000, please only choose to trade 1 or 2 max pairs at a single time. If you're using less than $500, 1 max pair trading at the same time, please do not try to increase that. So on skip a level, again, you can obviously scan all 6, but only allow 1 potentially to enter. So for ease of setting everything up, I'm going to go ahead and go over to one of my VPSs here. That's not the one. We're going to go here. I just need to close some charts out. Don't mind me. It's probably going to freeze on me while I try to close these. Let me just close down this terminal real quick. And I'm just going to close some charts out so that we can get into actually a fresh setup here and set all of this up. So might be easier to just hit the wonderful remove all button and let GearBox do what it does. Get it off all the charts, and then we can close them all out. And we're going to get right into just setting this thing up from scratch, right? So that we can set up a skip a level or an instant entry. We can go through what that looks like, and you guys can ask questions on it. As you see, it's going ahead and it's removing GearBox right now from all the charts. Not responding as it does it. Just give it a minute. And there we go. It's starting to remove them all. And there goes GearBox. Goodbye. Cool. Now we should be able to close charts out much easier without it freezing. And that's why we added the remove all button, by the way, because it makes this process much more pleasant. All righty. All right, now that we have all these pairs closed out, obviously we have the manager. We're just going to close all that. And we're going to hide all these pairs. We're going to act as if we were going from a fresh setup. You might have to hit hide all a few times. Sometimes it won't hide them all. I don't know why MetaTrader does this to me, but it's going to hide all of them except the ones I have open trades in, which are these three. So perfect. Okay. We're going to come over here and we're going to put in NZD CHF. Oops, I'm typing on here, not on my VPS. NZD CHF, added. USD CAD, added. CAD CHF, added. AUD NZT, added. All right. So now that we have all those added, we're simply, and Euro USD. We're simply going to go ahead and first we're going to say, let's set up an instant entry strategy. So maybe we chose Euro JPY, Euro USD, and let's just say we chose, I'm going to go with an NZD pair. I don't want to go with another USD pair because they're too correlated. That's another thing. When choosing pairs for instant entry, try to choose pairs that aren't highly correlated. Obviously, Euro USD and Euro JPY are pretty correlated in a sense. But at the same time, maybe you could have gone and done, let's say, EJ, USD CAD, and let's go with NZD CHF. Cool. Instant entry strategy, you're going to go on the daily, right? Daily is always going to be the most accurate when it comes to making decisions on the longer trend. Please keep in mind any of the trades you see open here. Many of them were from Einstein, as you can see. GearBox is just picking up and managing many of them. But let's go ahead. And we're just going to also open the gold chart. So we can drag the manager on. Now the GearBox manager is on. We're going to make sure that we set our lot size. In this case, if we're doing 0.01 for 3,000, I have about 14,000 US dollars in here. 14,000 divided by 3. So we're going to go for a 0.04 lot size. Could even really go 0.05 if you wanted, but we're just going to go 0.04 for sake of being conservative. Max pairs trading at the same time, I have more than $1,000, so 3 is fine. And since we're using instant entry, this setting doesn't really matter because again, it's going to enter all of them instantly, which we only have 3 open. And we're just going to hit OK. Any other settings you could change, your balance protection. What this again means is if you go on 25% drawdown, it's going to stop taking any new trades. Notifications of drawdown, you could change these if you wanted to be more conservative. Stop loss distance, again, you could change this if you wanted to be more conservative. But other than that, you also have your weekly goal. You can really modify a few of those things. But for sake, really all you should need to do in instant entries, change your lot size, hit OK. And you would just go ahead and apply the instant entry strategy. Now, because I don't want to take any trades right now, I'm going to pause auto trading just to show you this. And I hit use strategy. And now you can see that I have instant entry applied to all my charts. And it was that easy. Now, let's say I want to go to skip a level. I'm going to go ahead and also add open my other three. Boom. Now I opened up my other three here. And for skip a level, all you would do is the same concept. You'd have all the charts, all six here. You're going to go in here. Again, you would go to your manager and you're going to decide, okay, you want 3 max pairs trading at the same time. If you have more than 1,000, that's fine. If you have less than 1,000, go 2. If you have less than 500, go 1. But we're going to just go ahead and put 3 because I have more than that. I'm going to hit OK. And then I'm going to hit skip a level. And again, now skip a level, all skip a level is doing is it's skipping the first 21 pips. So it's essentially saying, okay, whenever any of these pairs go to where a level 1 trade would have entered, enter that trade. So we're not skipping a lot of potential move. We're really just saying enter here. And we're doing it on, again, certain pairs that typically, you know, you're not really waiting too far in, right? We're not going to go run instant entry or skip a level on a GBP pair because that would just be reckless and honestly really, really bad. But for the pairs that we are talking about, we have the data on the average daily true ranges. We have the forward testing. We have the back testing to say that these pairs do pretty good. They do all right in their strategies. In their methodology. So, you know, again, you can choose them. You can also go to this website too and research your own, right? Maybe there's other pairs that you might say, you know, I think it would respect it better. Maybe I want to use, I don't know, NZD USD, for example. Again, USD JPY looks like it would do well, but why specifically USD JPY is on a worse performing pair? Why is CAD JPY on a worse performing pair when their average daily range is less than Euro USD or Euro JPY, which are acceptable? Well, the reason for this is once or twice a year, if you study many of the JPY pairs, they have these huge spikes. It happens constantly. AJ, I've seen it numerous times too. They have these huge spikes where they tend to, and GBP, JPY, I mean, these ones are killers sometimes, and NZD JPY. They have these huge spikes where they go trending for hundreds of pips with no sign of reversal, and they do it for long periods of time. And because of that, they don't tend to respect most counter trend strategies. And you want to make sure that whatever you're doing respects a typical counter trend strategy. Otherwise, you know, you could run into a bad time. And I've seen this over and over again in my 3 years using different counter trend expert advisors. It's just that these JPY pairs, they've been troublesome. The ones in yellow, and even AUD-CHF, pretty troublesome, right? You know, you're talking about AUD, which tends to have some volatility along with, you know, a highly manipulated currency such as the Swiss franc. They tend to be a little more on the rough side, where some of the other CHF pairs tend to be all right. But, you know, with that being said, that's a little bit about, you know, intraday, how to set it up, its strategy, how it works. You know, if you guys have any questions for me, go ahead and let me know. You know, other than that, I mean, intraday is pretty simple. It's just, again, a more hands-on strategy. I wouldn't use it unless you have a higher risk tolerance and you're okay with seeing more trades as well. You know, I'd always encourage somebody, if you're using intraday mode, to also have a precision account. Just like I tell anybody who is doing aggressive things with GearBox, maybe I tell them, don't be aggressive unless you also have enough capital to be conservative. Right? And then take all your profits from your aggressive and put it into your conservative to compound and grow your money. And that's really the name of the game. So I'd recommend everyone has a precision GearBox. And if you want to play with intraday, I would do it on a second license. That always is going to make the most sense for seeing success using our different strategies and products here, such as, you know, GearBox and the different modes that it has. Now we're going to start providing a lot more data on these new pairs, these new settings, how they're doing on a week-to-week basis on the following calls. You know, I'm going to have multiple accounts set up on instant entry and multiple set up on skip a level. And we're going to start to review those accounts data going forward over the next few weeks so that you guys can see firsthand, how is these strategies performing? How are they working on other live accounts? How are they working in different demo accounts? Are there things that work better than others? And we're going to talk about it. As always, we're constantly advancing and making this product better and better so that you guys can see as much success as possible when using different strategies within GearBox, such as the intraday modes. But with that being said, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the day. I don't see any questions or comments in the Q&A. So I'm going to let you guys get back to your day so that tomorrow, again, you can tune in at 11 a.m. Eastern. We're going to go into our precision mode call as normal, where we're going to get into data for the week, how all the other pairs performed, and talk about the current market conditions a little more. But with that being said, on the next one, we will see you then. As I see somebody asked here in the question, what is the best mode for 1 hour or 4 hour charts? I'm going to go with precision modes, always. If you're going to use lower time frames, you're going to want to be in precision modes. And you might ask why that is. Well, I'm going to give you a visual. Give me a second. All right, let's just click open. I don't know why this thing's frozen. Hold on. Let me give you a visual. Okay. So if we were going to go here, close this, we already have GBP open. We're going to go here. Let's take a look at GBP NZD. No, this one is not doing it right now either. I do not see any of them actually in the hedge stage at this current moment. Yeah, none of them are currently hedging. So nothing to look at here. All right. Let's see if my dailies are doing it. So essentially what will happen on the lower time frames is GearBox is going to play both sides of the market. And what I mean by play both sides of the market is you'd see a positive number for both of these on a lower time frame typically, meaning that in the Ghost server, it's actually going to be playing both directions. So why this works out well in precision modes for many people is essentially because no matter which way the market goes, if it goes 138 pips one way or 138 pips the other way, you're typically going to enter that trade. Whereas if you're just on the daily, it's going to look on the larger overall trend. And sometimes GearBox can trade with the trend, which means that it could go 138 pips one direction. You don't enter a trade because it was actually trading with the trend rather than against it. So it wasn't getting into the drawdown you needed in the Ghost server to potentially enter your trade. Whereas on a lower time frame, that is more likely. Somebody said, what's the best mode for 15 minutes? Absolutely don't run 15 minutes unless you want to potentially lose your money. You know, that'd be my best advice for you, Dylan. Stay away from super low time frames like that. They can definitely put you in risky territory. They can perform great for short periods of time. And then one day you'll look at your account and go, what happened? So I would stick away from the lower time frames. They again are just much less accurate on their entries. Let's see. Any precision mode is going to be better for lower time frames, but always for me, I'd say sniper. Sniper is my favorite. Swing is always going to be the riskier decision, as is getting you in earlier. You know, for example, the first difference between swing and sniper is, you know, over 50 pips. The second difference is, you know, over 70 plus pips. If you're waiting until 5 to 6 for some of these GBP pairs, you're talking over 100 pips or 126 pips, which, you know, that's a large extra amount of pips you could have been in drawdown on by just waiting a little longer to get into the trend. But with that being said, everyone, thank you so much for tuning in today. And tomorrow is our precision call. We're going to get into, somebody says, how's it work with drawdown? We just have to be patient and wait. I mean, yeah, that's the name of the game in trading, my friend. We're playing with a swing trading institutional level strategy. The only thing you can do when you're in drawdown is wait. Have patience and wait. That's what you do. Thank you again, everybody. And I'll see you guys on the Friday precision call. I look forward to seeing you guys all there as well. And thank you so much for tuning into the intraday call. These calls are going to get a little longer every week as we go, as I'm going to start exploring and showing more data on many of the intraday accounts that I'm going to be running. So I look forward to seeing you on the next one, and look forward to seeing you tomorrow for the precision call. And Saturday, if you have anybody looking to switch to GearBox, we will be doing for the next 2 weekends, the switch call on Saturdays at 7 Eastern. So once again, look forward to seeing you all there. Have a wonderful rest of your day.